Today we've got the maiden flight on the Freewing A-4E Skyhawk 80mm high performance. Brief overview of the plane. It's got the 1920 kV 9-blade end runner, so it should give us a little bit better top end. Not really much scale to this one as far as lights, gear doors, things like that, because it does save on the weight, holds down the cost, however should make the bird perform a little bit better. You've got the tube up front. You got trailing link suspension, so it does have a good suspension underneath it. Split flaps, so when you deploy the flaps, doesn't change the top of the wing. So when we deploy those flaps, shouldn't be much different on the attitude. Let's take a look at the equipment we've got in this one today. Spectrum AR620 receiver, so it's our normal 6-channel sport receiver without a gyro. CNHL 6S 5065C Black Edition. And then we're also rocking the 5280 Fire Afterburner, which it's the one that doesn't have the flicker. Larry at 5280, he's got the one True Fire that has the flicker, then he has the Fire, which is the solid one, and then he has the new Blue Fire. So this one, it'll come on and get brighter as we progress the throttle up to max throttle. We're going to start with the battery right there for our CG. I went by the book, so we're going to see how that feels up in the air. This also does have a hump that's optional on it. I took it off on this one to give it a little bit more clean look. Also comes with missiles and bombs as well. Took those off, so I've got it in as clean a configuration as we can. So let's go ahead and take this bird up and see how the maiden flight goes. Taking off.
Gear up.
I got it trimmed in. I had to do some less sailing on to get it right. Medium rate. Here we go. And that afterburner looks really cool in there. Thing's bright. I didn't even think it'd show up today because of the
Time remaining 2 minutes.
trim now. A little power into it this time. About 80% throttle. Alright, so I'm gonna do a gear check. We got 3 and a green. See what it does with the flaps, and if it looks good, we'll bring it in.
Landing flaps.
Landing. Feels good.
Time remaining 1 minute.
put it based upon the book CG, but it feels like it's off. It's very pitch sensitive. Yeah, it's kind of bouncy, so we need to move the battery a little forward on this one. I think the CG might be a little too far back based upon the book, but I'll take it. Now we've got the maiden flight completed on the A4. Review of the flight, taken off, plenty of power. This has got the same motor as some of the other 80mm Freewing jets. Once we lifted out, I noticed that it was rolling a little bit to the right, so we had to put about 9 clicks of left aileron trim to get it level. Also on the takeout, that 5280RC afterburner in there looked really nice. I'm surprised how well it showed up today with all the sunlight we've got. So we climbed out, brought the gear up, trimmed it out a little bit on the aileron. Didn't need any elevator trim. Seemed pretty close on the CG from the book. It may be a little tail heavy because I noticed when I was taxiing back, the nose was kind of bouncing up quite a bit, which happens sometimes when you put that battery back on certain planes. And that's what happened on this one. Brought it in on the approach, had the nose up a little bit, and it still wanted to come down. So that, and when I was flying it, I noticed there's quite a bit of wing rock. So I think the battery I've got in here, which the CNHL Black Edition weighs 800 grams, it's like 796 or something, so it's right at 800. I think it puts a lot of load on these wings. So I think in the future flights, I'm gonna go down to either a 4400 or a 4000. However, landing was still okay, but once that nose touched down, I think that also amplified the bounce that we had in the compression of the nose wheel. Talking about the battery, let's take a look at what we had on the percentage left, and we'll see what we got here. We had a 3-minute and 50-second timer. We came down with about 15 seconds on the timer for useful throttle. It showed we had about a 3.5 minute to 3-minute 45 seconds, somewhere in there, time that's ran on the main timer, because we run 2 timers. So we came down at 380, 381, and that's about 30%, 31%. So fairly close to where you would do a storage charge. Some people do 375, some people do 385, so we're right in the middle. If you wanted to, you could get 4 minutes of, you know, cruising around flying, or probably about 3 minutes and 30 seconds if you're really pushing it like we do sometimes in the flight review. We did 1 pass down the runway, seemed like it was fairly fast. On the top end, probably in the upper 90s if I had to guess. If you want to see future videos and speed on this bird, because we're going to put the 12-blade fan in this A4 as well and compare it to the 9-blade and see difference as far as thrust and top end and stuff, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you can see that future video. Any of the products that I'm using in this video, I have affiliate links below. It doesn't cost you anything, but it does help support our channel. If you enjoyed the Maiden flight today and the takeoff and landing, and also that 5280 afterburner, if you liked any of those above, go ahead and push like on the video. I appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see you on the next one.